from the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagles Sports Report.
Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down.
Good evening and welcome back to Golden Eagles Sports Report.
Tonight we talk about the Big East Media Day for both the Marquette men's and women's basketball teams and the latest surrounding women's volleyball team.
We will also discuss and preview the MLB World Series and highlights from Week 7 in the NFL. So get ready, Marquette Nation, because Golden Eagles Sports Report starts right now.
Slam dunk! Oh, that's a poster. From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagles Sports Report.
Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down.
Hello everyone, I'm Sarah Richardson.
And I'm Kristen Parisi.
The Big East Conference held Media Day at Madison Square Garden last Tuesday.
Here's what head coach Shaka Smart had to say as he enters his first season with the program.
Obviously, this being our first year at Marquette, we're working really, really hard to build our way, our culture, the way we act, the way we interact, the way we respond. And again, I'm really pleased with the way our guys have taken to what we've asked them to do. I'm really excited by the way that our new guys, which really is everybody, because even the 3 returning players we have are new to us and we're new to them. So the way that our guys have really sunk their teeth into embracing the way we've asked them to compete and the way we've asked them to think about team and about winning. Our approach with our staff is not the only way to do things, but it is unique and different. We're going to make this our own. We're going to make this something special. And so what we're in the process of doing right now is just helping those guys understand how much they need each other to accomplish our goals.
And women's head coach Megan Duffy joined the media as well. Let's take a look at her thoughts as she begins her 3rd season here at Marquette.
Thrilled just about the depth of our conference this year. We're going to have a tremendous handful of teams that are going to have a chance to be at the top of the league. I think this is the most depth on paper with different rosters than I've seen since I've been in the league. And just going off a little bit of my time here at Marquette, we have been picked all over the board. All different expectations, and I know we're very excited to get to work every day. We have some new pieces to our team that will be evolving into roles as the season moves on. Just really looking forward to the opportunity, one to play UConn on Fox this year, to be able to play DePaul twice, like we always do, and some great non-conference matchups. So really just looking forward to seeing how our team handles everything and evolves. It just seems just a little extra excitement coming to Media Day after two years of being off, just seeing the student athletes, doing different filming sessions and talking to the media. It's just great to see them interact and just have such great energy and enthusiasm for our college basketball seasons upcoming.
And for more insights on both the men's and women's basketball teams, we now want to welcome in Executive Sports Editor John Leuzzi and Sports Audio Producer Matt Yazel. So starting with the men's team, only 3 players are returning from last year. Is that drastic roster turnover the biggest challenge as the team heads into the new season?
Absolutely, I think so, Chris. I mean, with only 3 players coming back, 2 who played significant time last year in Justin Lewis and Greg Elliott, both who came off the bench. And obviously completely new coaching staff with Steve Wojciechowski not returning. I mean, Shaka Smart said himself, he doesn't know what it's like to coach a game in Fiserv Forum even. It's a completely new roster. It's a completely new experience for everybody involved with this program. And it's going to be a learning process. It's going to take a while. They're not going to come out of the gates clicking on all cylinders. It's just, I just don't foresee that happening, and it's going to be a challenge for them to click together.
And that's one thing that Marquette fans are going to have to be patient about, because it takes time to gel with new teammates and it takes time to really get to know one another. I know Marquette fans are eager to get back into the March Madness tournament and back on top as they used to be, but I don't know. It's going to take a little bit. But looking over the women's team, although they have a really experienced team, Duffy's squad loses 2 key players in Selena Lott and Cameron Taylor. So, John, who do you see filling their roles this season, if anyone can?
Well, right away from the start, it's the 2 new additions for this Marquette women's basketball team, Kristen. First, it's graduate student transfers Carissa McLaughlin from Purdue. We talked about her a lot here on GESR. We'll talk a lot about her throughout the entire season. She's a sharp shooter who's going to be so big for Marquette from the three-point line, a position and a stat that Marquette has not done very well in last season, so they're hoping to improve that. And then on the other side, it's also Kennedy Miles, another Big Ten transfer that Coach Duffy was able to bring to Milwaukee and here in the Big East from the University of Illinois. She'll be able to fill that Cameron Taylor role and also probably match her production and her time on the floor.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Carissa and Kennedy both come into the season, but I know that Coach Duffy has high hopes for them, and especially for their young team. They're a young squad. They have a lot of experience, but they also have a lot of underclassmen firepower, so it's going to be exciting to see how it all turns out.
Sure.
But the Big East preseason coaches poll came out last week, and the men's team is picked to finish 9th in the conference. Matt, do you think that's a fair ranking knowing where they ended up last year?
I think it's pretty fair. It was about what I expected in terms of pretty low in the conference, just because, just like us, we don't know. Nobody knows what this team is going to be and how they're going to look. So I think to answer the question, it's a fair ranking, although I think, at least in this program, and I think people who are following this team think there's a lot of optimism in terms of the level of talent that this team has. You got talented first years and Stevie Mitchell and Amarian Ellis, and then you got experienced guys they're bringing in, Kirk Queth, Daryl Morcell, just to name a few. I mean, there's a lot of talent coming in. It's just the question of how is Shaka Smart going to get them to click together and work together and get acclimated as a team. So I think the ranking is fair. I could see them finishing around 9th, worse than 9th. But I could see them finishing somewhere in the middle of the road or even higher than that. Who knows? I mean, I certainly don't see them winning the conference. I don't think anybody does.
Villanova's got that locked and loaded.
Yeah, I think they're certainly expected to win again. But I think there's a lot of optimism in terms of the level of talent that's in the room. And at this point in the season, that's all you need.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that they have UConn and Villanova are the top teams, but the Big East is a very important. It's a very good conference. I mean, it's one of the best in basketball.
Power 6.
But, yeah, Power 6. But moving on to the women's team, they find themselves ranked 4th in the Big East preseason standings. They went to the Big East title game against UConn last year. They've beaten DePaul. They've beaten Seton Hall. And they came close to beating UConn in the regular season last year. So, John, what were your initial reactions to the ranking? Because I know you took it really personal.
Yeah, I did take it personal. I even put it into print in a column I wrote for the Wire Sports Desk this week. And I was very surprised that Marquette was picked to finish 4th in the conference behind teams like DePaul and Seton Hall, who Marquette just flat out statistically was better than them last year. But this Marquette team, like you said, Kristen, in the 2 years under Coach Megan Duffy, they are 30 games overall, over 500. In the Big East play, they are 27-9. That's impossible. Like, that's a very good stat from that point. And then also, they made 5 straight consecutive Big East tournament championship games. Only 2 teams in the country have done that, UConn and Maryland, in a 5-year span.
Oh, 2 very good.
And then on top of that, Marquette, they coming off with such a great year overall. You look at the stats, they finished top in the country in a lot of stats, while DePaul and Seton Hall just were not there. So I took it a little personal, but anything I learned from this Marquette team, and you picked it up last year quickly, they like having that chip on their shoulder. They're that blue-collar, underdog mentality team, and they're going to use this as leverage throughout the entire season.
Yeah, and especially Megan Duffy said at Big East Media Day that she isn't taking it personally because she thinks there's a lot of depth in the Big East Conference, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But as always, John and Matt, thank you so much for joining us. When we come back, we'll be looking at the men's basketball team engaging its fans before the season starts and recapping volleyball team's most recent homestand. So keep it here after the break.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
after you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. I'm Sarah Richardson.
And I'm Kristen Parisi.
Open practice for season ticket holders, giving them an opportunity to watch the team before the upcoming season.
Peters, story.
Comes a new message.
We are far from being consistent with this. Is these guys understanding that they're going to be at their best when they play for each other instead of playing for themselves. You know, they need to learn that the only way to be their best is to lose themselves in a fight.
As the team prepares for its first game on November 9th, the Golden Eagles held an open practice giving fans a preview of what's to come.
Once they settled in, you know, I thought they did a nice job of getting a little bit better over the course of practice, competing with each other. But I thought today was, as we like to say, it was a chance to get 1% better, and they did that.
Coming into this season, Marquette welcomes in 10 new players to its roster. However, the team says they're handling the transition just fine.
I think we're going to be tough, we're going to be fast, we're really going to pull through, you know what I'm saying, because there's a lot of different things that are being added into our game. So we're all doing well, gelling together, especially for having different players coming in.
For many of the newcomers, it's their first time stepping inside Fiserv Forum.
Just walking through the tunnel, it's you kind of get a little starstruck just seeing all our colors and everything like that. I mean, it's a special place. Like our strength coach says, it's the nicest arena in college basketball.
Reporting from Fiserv Forum, I'm Tyler Peters, Marquette Wire Sports.
And the Golden Eagles start the season November 9th against Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville.
Marquette volleyball players are not the only ones battling something this year.
The team recognizes President Lovell in his fight against cancer by wearing gold uniforms this past weekend. Molly Gretzlock has more.
Fans, staff, coaches, and athletes all wearing it for reasons more than the school colors during Saturday night's Big East matchup against Seton Hall.
It is a meaningful weekend here for Marquette Athletics, as teams have been wearing yellow uniforms in competition starting on October 14 in honor of President Lovell and supporting him with his battle with cancer that he announced earlier in September.
I mean, Dr. Lovell's incredibly supportive of athletics, more than any president I've ever met. The shout out to him of appreciation for him. He's fighting and doing great. He's still working out every day.
The night starts with a 25-21 Golden Eagle victory in the first set. Graduate student outside hitter Hope Wirch puts up strong numbers with 7 kills and 3 aces.
Our plus-minus guy on the bench, Peter, was the whole time, it's like, she's got 7, she's got 8, she's got 9, and just kept rolling. And that was a close set, too. We needed every one of them. So it was great she was able to earn them.
The Pirates aren't going to let the match slip away easily, though. They claim set 2, 25-21, stealing away a Golden Eagle lead and running with it. Redshirt sophomore outside hitter Hannah Vandenberg throws down 9 kills in the third set, helping the squad get out to a 10-point lead and earning a 25-12 victory.
Really important. I thought we had a big momentum shift, and I think that shift just kind of finished the rest of the game for us.
Marquette finished out the last set 25-19 and moves the Golden Eagles to 7-1 in conference play. Marquette finishes its 3-game homestand on Wednesday against DePaul.
And continuing this momentum, having home games is one of our favorite things, so just keeping up our momentum here.
Reporting from the Al McGuire Center, I'm Molly Gutzlock, Marquette Wire Sports.
And after defeating the Pirates, Marquette concluded its homestand against the DePaul Blue Demons.
Were they able to fight off their I-94 rivals? Tyler Peters has the answer.
Another day, another conference match for Marquette women's volleyball as they take on their I-94 rival, the DePaul Blue Demons. The Golden Eagles look to close out their 3-game homestand with a victory, but not without a fight from the Blue Demons. DePaul storms out to a 13-4 lead to start the match, taking the first set 25-21. Marquette keeps things close in set 2, but comes up just short, falling 25-23. Down 2-0, the Golden Eagles look to stay alive and do so successfully, earning a 25-21 victory in set 3. Marquette follows suit in sets 4 and 5, defeating the Blue Demons and completing the reverse sweep.
I just love the guts in the fight. I mean, I thought DePaul came to play and outplayed us completely in the first 2 sets. Good defense by them, bad offense by us, and I thought we spun it and got things going a little bit in the right direction. And I thought both teams played pretty good in 5.
Graduate students Hope Wirch and Savannah Rennie combined to collect 39 of Marquette's 65 kills in the match.
We had some really great setups, and I knew I had to go in hard, and if it wasn't to me, it was going to be to somebody on a one-on-one, and that's what we needed. So just being loud and being up and available was key.
The Golden Eagles' record improves to 8-1 in conference play and 17-3 overall. From the Al McGuire Center, I'm Tyler Peters, Marquette Wire Sports.
And the Golden Eagles have now won 22 straight matches against DePaul.
And now it's time for another short break, but don't change that channel because we still have lots to discuss regarding the MLB playoffs and Week 7 of the NFL. Stay tuned.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
It all can get so out of control. Sometimes you can lose your faith, you can lose your mind, lose your grip, get stripped of your pride till you don't know how you're gonna stay alive. Hey, hey, I got you. I will give you what you need, and I'll be right there. I got you back. I got you.
And we're back in Studio 7 as we will talk about the MLB World Series as well as the state of the NFL after Week 7. And joining me on the panel tonight is Matt Yazel, Kristen Parisi, and Aiden Hatton. Let's get started, guys. So the Major League, now that we know who's playing in the World Series, which is the Astros and the Braves, and a little birdie told me that someone already scored. Uh-oh, what happened? Well, who do we think will win it all, guys?
I got the Houston Astros win it all. I think they're the better team compared to the Braves. I think offensively, they're just stacked top to bottom throughout their lineup with guys who, I mean, they've been to at least the ALCS 5 years in a row. They're all experienced in the playoffs. They're not scared of the moment. They got home field advantage. And Yordan Alvarez is coming off one of the best ALCSs we've ever seen, winning MVP. I mean, he hit over 500 in the series. He had 7 hits in the last 2 games, which was more than the Red Sox had as a team in those 2 games. I mean, it's insane how good their offense is. And then pitching-wise, they gave up a lot of runs to Boston in the first few games and then really turned it around and just shut them down. Framber Valdez, who's pitching tonight for Houston, went into Fenway, pitched 8 shutout, a couple of other really impressive performances. Their bullpen has been really good. So I just think the Astros are the better team. I think they're more experienced. I know it's not the popular pick. Nobody wants to root for them. But I think they're just the better team, and I think they're more experienced. I like them more than the Braves.
No person in America, except people in Houston, will be rooting for the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
No one will. No one wants to. So that's why I picked the Braves. Not just because I hate the Astros. It's just because the Braves are one of the better teams. I mean, they meant business against the reigning MLB World Series champions in the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman has been on fire for them, especially, and Eddie Rosario. I mean, Eddie Rosario is the NLCS MVP. He had that 3-run home run in Game 6 that ended up helping them win the game and win the series. And I don't think that the defense of Houston is going to be able to battle with this hot offense in the Braves, and their first World Series appearance since 1999. So they're ready to give it their all, and that's why I think they're gonna take it.
That's why I think experience matters, though. I mean, Eddie Rosario, where the heck did he come from?
Suddenly, that's what he's going to be having that momentum, having that amazing home run, and then him and Freddie Freeman have been just going back and forth, home run, home run, home run, home run. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, so scared. Whoa,
you should be.
So scared.
Carlos Correa, I know they're not banging trash cans anymore, but they're still pretty dang good.
They're trash.
Kristen, I'm going to take your side. Back in 1982, a little history lesson for you guys.
Oh.
Sports Illustrated coined this Atlanta Braves back in 1982, America's Team Part 2. Is there a better phrase to describe this year's Atlanta team? I don't think so. I'm going with Atlanta. I'm with you, Kristen.
Yeah. Oh.
They had a better grip. They had a better grip on the NLCS. They had a better grip on the NLCS than Houston did in the ALCS, and I believe they have better starting pitching as well, led by I think the best athlete name in the series, Max Fried, almost pronounced Max Fried.
He's been fantastic, I will say, throughout the whole end of the second half of the season into the playoffs. He's going to be tough. I believe he's going in Game 2, but Charlie Morton has been great for them as well. But I think pitching-wise, the Astros impressed me in the last few games against the Astros, so I don't think it's as much of an advantage for the Braves as it would have been.
Well, we'll see.
No clear favorite for sure.
I was mad on this one. I think the Astros are going to win it all. I mean, they've been very consistent all season. Great offense, great defense, and they've been pretty well known for scoring runs with 2 outs left in the inning.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to win it all. So I think my pick is going to be the Astros. And so you 3 locked in your predictions before the playoffs started.
Don't.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. And we have a tape to roll for you guys.
Think that anyone in the AL or in the NL has a chance. I mean,
nope.
I'll focus on the hometown Brewers and tell you why they're going to win the World Series, and it's because of their starting rotation. You talked about bullpen, Kristen. Bullpen is very important in the playoffs, but I would argue starting rotation is even more important because
The starting rotation is so important, and that's why I love this LA Dodger team. Max Scherzer and Walker Buehler are one of the greatest starters that we've seen in baseball this year.
Aiden was the closest.
He was the closest. Yeah.
And I gotta shout out Andrew Muzu too, because he had the Dodgers as well. We were both.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't here for the first round table. My pick definitely would have been the Cubs. I'm a huge Cubs fan.
They weren't even in the playoffs.
Hush.
That would have been the worst pick.
All right, so let's move on to the NFL. Upsets and blowouts plague Week 7, and the Bengals crushed the Ravens. Matt, after this week, are the Bengals a legit threat in the AFC?
I certainly think so. I mean, I don't think they had super high expectations coming into this season. They're in a tough division with the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Browns. But they haven't played the Browns yet. But the Steelers and Ravens, they have beat up on both of those teams. And I think just Joe Burrow is one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, among the quarterbacks in their first or second year. I think even coming off an injury for him, I think he's one of, if not the best of that group. I think with his boy Jamar Chase from LSU, those two are just
so good,
balling out together. And it's so fun to watch.
Marlon Humphrey,
had a tough week.
All this talk. I'm not a Ravens fan. I'm from Maryland. I get to hear all the Ravens beat up on me for being a Jets fan.
Yeah.
But come on now, Marlon Humphrey, an all-pro, one of the best. He's supposed to be one of the best in their secondary.
Yep.
Let Jamar Chase run over 200 yards on them. Lamar Jackson, not the best game from him.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow, he didn't have an offensive line. The Bengals are going to be
I think
trash.
their defense is what stood out to me
Exactly.
this week. Because coming into the year, it was like, okay, they're going to put up some points. They got some guys on offense. T. Higgins as well offensively. Joe Mixon having a great year. Their defense, but it was like, we don't really like them. But they stepped up this week for sure.
Don't you have to give Chase Offensive Rookie of the Year today?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, give it to him. Why not?
He's amazing. Everyone was getting on him in the preseason for not being able to catch anything, and look what happened, guys. You angered him. You got him mad. The bull is loose. Tick something off. Jamar Chase is proving everyone wrong.
And speaking of other people who are proving people wrong, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes for a minute. Kristen, Aiden, and Matt too, jump in if you'd like. The Titans took care of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, beating Kansas City 27-3. Has Patrick Mahomes officially been dethroned? What do you guys think?
He's tied. This is a stat that's going to blow your mind. He's tied for Jets rookie Zach Wilson for most interceptions, 9.
Don't want to be tied with him right now.
Yeah, not the best stat to be tied in. And Patrick Mahomes had 5 or 6 interceptions of all last year, and now he has 9 this year, and we're not even halfway through the season yet. And he did throw a touchdown in Week 7. The Titans held one of the hottest offenses to 3 points. Travis Kelce, where was he?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Nico
Where
Hardman.
were they?
Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. The Titans, who were able to keep the Bengals to 3, literally had the Jets gave them 27. The New York Jets. Although I'm a Jets fan, the Jets beat the Titans, and the Titans were able to beat the Chiefs. So if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what will.
You're talking about the offensive side of the ball, Kristen. Have the Chiefs been dethroned? I don't think they have been, but they've been deciphered on the defensive side of the ball. That's where the real problem is.
Big words.
Yeah. I also think Patrick Mahomes he's just not himself this year. I think something's up. I think he's been possessed. But that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for the great discussion. Be sure to tune in next week for all of our coverage on Marquette Sports and more. For Kristen Parisi, I'm Sarah Richardson. Good night, Marquette.